Hi everyone and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Today I'm sharing with you my third alternative card idea using the August 2024 Paper Pumpkin kit called Time for Cake. This kit creates a total of 9 birthday greeting cards. This one's a fun fold, and if you want to see me create this card, you can watch my playlist where I unbox this card, and it's up here in the top right corner. This one is just a regular card. It's got this really cute cake image on it and some fun rose gold foiling. And then we have this beautiful balloon card, and this as well as just a regular fold. So those 3 beautiful cards, and if you'd like to watch me unbox those, like I said, you can click on the playlist up here in the top right corner. For today's alternative card, I will be sharing with you a fun alternative to the cake card. This is a shaker card. I'm not sure if you can see it. Hold on, let me get it all down, and then you can kind of see them. Come on, move around in there. It's kind of hard to see through camera, but it's really fun. I think it offers a lot of interaction, and the sequins that I've used have a little bit of a glimmer to them, so it's a really fun addition to this card. If you are new to Paper Pumpkin and are interested in getting your own monthly crafting kit, you can subscribe using the link in the description box below. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any questions you may have about Paper Pumpkin or Stampin' Up! Products. You can contact me through my email address, which is listed at the bottom of the description in every video. So for this card, you need to have the front of the cake card base, and we're going to first trim it down to fit on our card base. So we want the final dimension to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and to make the cake evenly spaced, so I'm going to take off 1/8 of an inch on each side. And my final dimension will be 4 inches across. And then I'm just going to take 1/4 of an inch off the top. So you're going to line up the bottom. There's plenty of extra Moody Mauve space up there. We don't need to trim any off the bottom. So once we're at this point, we are going to create the cutouts for our shaker element. And to do that is actually quite simple, so you don't have to put a lot of stress into it. But the actual act of cutting it out is just a little bit detailed, so I'll walk you through all of that. So you're going to grab yourself a pencil. You want to have a good pencil with a good eraser so that you can remove any markings. You're going to take the exterior leftover piece of the angled rectangles that are used on the cake piece, and we're going to use this as our guide. And you're just going to pick 3. It doesn't matter which 3. I'm going to do it so that I can see this. So these are the 3 sections I'm going to use. 1, 2, 3. At the bottom of this first section, so this side here, I'm going to line up with the bottom of my cake. And then on the left side, I'm going to line up with the left side of the cake. Okay, so the bottom and the left. And then you're just going to go all the way up to the top and make sure. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to flip that. So instead of it being the bottom that I'm lining up, because we kind of have plenty of space there, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit so that I can see the top of the cake. So I've got my 1, 2, 3 sections that are in petal pink. That's that pink color. And then this is the border of the top section. That edge is lined up with the white frosting. Okay. So that's going to help me make sure that it's centered on my cake. And then again, the left edge here should be right up to the left edge of the cake. So it's the inside edge, this inside edge. Okay, so as long as that's all lined up, these 3 sections should be evenly spaced on your cake. So you're going to take your pencil and just gently and lightly draw a line all the way around each section, making sure the paper doesn't move. Okay, so you just want to be very light with it. You don't want any dark lines, just in case they show. So do you see how we now have 3 sections, and they're evenly spaced inside that cake, and that was actually pretty easy. So next comes the cutting out part. And if you have a pretty steady hand, you can do this step with just like an X-Acto knife, and you follow that line, maybe use a ruler or something to keep it nice and straight. But I don't have a very steady hand, and I don't cut things straight. And so I'm going to use my paper trimmer. And so this is the tricky part. Every time you move the blade, you need to place that blade inside the section. So make sure that you don't start cutting until you lift up the blade. The other thing you want to make sure is that the paper or the pencil line is sitting right in the middle of your guide so that it gets cut on that line. And that line, let's see. Okay, so then you lift up, place the blade into the middle, and then you just make little cuts to make sure that you don't cut all of it, because all we're doing here is cutting out those sections. So you need to make sure that you stop on the top and bottom of those sections. You do need to go just a little bit beyond the cut line so that the next cut line will connect with it, so it comes out nice and easy. And you just keep lifting up and putting down. It's really important your paper does not move until you are completely done with all the cuts. Okay, and then you can kind of get an idea if you need to go just down a little bit more or up a little bit. I think this, to me, is the easiest way to do this. Okay, so now I've got 3 cuts right across, and it's not perfect, but right across that pencil line on the right side. So now I'm going to rotate and do the same thing. Place the edge of that cake into the center of my guide. Lift up, place the blade in the middle of this rectangle, and then begin cutting. And just you're doing little cuts to make sure that you get right where you want it to go and not beyond. Just a little bit more. And again, it's not perfect, okay? So if you're not quite right on that line, that's okay. It's going to be so cute. Okay, so now I've cut the left and the right sides, and so now I can just go down and begin cutting along that edge. Again, place that pencil line right in the middle of the guide. This will be at an angle, so you can't use the top edge as a guide. And you just cut until it connects with your previous cut. And then you can see there that we're starting to remove these sections. And to me, this is the easiest way. If you can think of an easier way for you, then that is great. This is supposed to be fun, a relaxing hobby for you, not something too stressful. Okay, so once you have that, you can remove the first one. Just make sure that you don't remove those middle pieces. That's what keeps it separated. And a really fun shaker card. Let's see. Okay, that one's up. Okay. And then the last one. I'm actually going to rotate it so that I have a little more paper on the left where I can hold it in place. Okay. If you have questions about this, you can always leave a comment on my blog or email me. My email address is below, and I can try to help you walk through it. So now we've got our openings for our shaker. If you look closely, you can see that I do have some pencil lines. So I am going to take my eraser, make sure it's clean. You don't want to have any smudges coming from your eraser. And you're just going to gently erase any pencil lines that are showing around your sections. And again, do go slowly. You don't want to accidentally tear any of these sections off of your card base. And then on this side as well. Okay. Brush all of that eraser off. And then you will want to hold on to these. These are great little pieces we can add to some alternatives. And so now we're ready to turn this into a shaker card. So when I have a shaker card that's really simple like this, I will sometimes just use a clear bag. This is the clear envelope that Stampin' Up! Sells. And these are just perfect for really simple shaker cards. It doesn't require any window sheets or things like that. So what I'm going to do is line this up so that I have a lot of space around it. So this is 4 inches. I think I'm going to just cut it to 3 3/4. That should give me plenty of space. So I'm cutting with the closed edge on the left, the open edge on the right, just removing that open edge, and then that should be good. So I can also trim off more on the top if I wanted to, but I'm happy with this. I think this size is good, and I can always make it a little smaller too if I want. So now that I have this bag, it's open on one side. So I'm going to take some tear and tape. This is what I'm going to use to close the bag, and I'm going to add it to the top of the bag. But I want it to kind of be on and off the bag so that so it's kind of like half and half. So the bag's on half the strip, and then the strip is open and sticky on the other half. That's going to give me an opportunity to make a nice seal, okay? So I can still open the bag. I haven't closed it, but there's some sticky here on that side. So it's half on the bag, half off the bag. I'm going to take some retired sequins and pour them into my bag. And if you want to have more, you can. I think a small amount is okay. These are the subtle shimmer sequins. They also come with silver and this clear iridescent. And I decided to just pick out the clear iridescent and use that for my shaker. And what I'm going to do is on that sticky side, so this is the sticky side is up, I'm going to roll my tear and tape over and adhere it down. So now that sticky side is down on the bag. I've got this clean edge here, and then I can remove this and adhere it to my bag when I'm ready. I am looking at this, and I do wonder if I should also maybe make that a little smaller. So I'm going to bring all of my sequins down. I'm going to go ahead and remove this paper strip here. Fold over the extra that's coming off the edges. And I'm just going to add another tear and tape strip. There it is. Across the top. And so this is going 100% on, okay, because this is to just fold it over to make it a little smaller. Okay, so I've put it 100% on. Take off the adhesive or the backing and just roll that over to make it just a little smaller. Then I can put the base of this packet at the bottom, and I won't have any of the bag showing at the top. So once that is in place, I'm going to go ahead and add more tear and tape to the top here. This will adhere to the card on the back. And I think I have plenty of room that I can do one on all sides. Okay, so I'm just adding tear and tape to the front of this entire shaker window, envelope, pocket, whatever you want to call it. And so this is going to be what I adhere to the back of my cake piece. Great. Okay, so when I add this, I want to make sure I don't see any adhesive coming through. Maybe I do it from this side. That might be easier. Okay. There we go. Okay, super cute. All right, so now we're going to add the decorative strips to the back. And you can use any combination of the decorative strips that you might have. I'm going to use the floral, then the confetti, and then the brown floral piece. And this is the top, so that's where I'm going to place my first strip. You do this from the back, so you want to make sure that you cover up the entire opening. And that's another good reason why we have used this as our guide, because that's the exact same size as this is. You can use any type of tape or adhesive to hold this in place. I just have my tear and tape on hand, so I'm going to use that. So place that inside that opening and then just tack it down. Put one right there. I'm going to go with the next one and then I can connect the two together. And then the last one. And then I will finish connecting them all together on the sides as well. I want to make sure they're on and they're not going to move around. And just doing a little tack like this isn't going to help keep them in place. Okay, so we're just going to flip it over. You can kind of get an idea. I can see a little bit coming through right there. So I'm going to just kind of bring that one up just a little bit. And I can add some more adhesive across the top or the sides of each of these. And double check after I place it that it's where I want it. Looks good. Now I can take the paper off when I add this to my card base, or I can just leave it on and have it act like regular tape. So it doesn't need to be double-sided tape here. It can just be like regular tape. And there we go. We've got our fun shaker element. So cute. And if you put more sequins in there, then you're going to see more sequins. So it's really up to you how many you want to add. There's no right or wrong there. I'm going to add this to my card base. This is just thick, basic white cardstock. And I am going to add it with dimensionals just so there's a little bit of space for those sequins to move around freely. Okay. I think I am going to remove these paper backings too. We're just going to put it right in the center of that basic white cardstock. Press down, and then we've got this fun shaker. Okay. Let's go ahead and add the rest of the embellishments. I'm going to do a little stamping first. I've got the Pretty in Pink strip from the kit. Go ahead and stamp "It's Time for Cake" on that strip, right in the center. And then on my card, it's also kind of fun to add that number. For this one, I'm going to go back to number 12. And I'm stamping it in Night of Navy on my leftover envelope paper. It makes it really easy to kind of fussy cut out. And then I'm going to add dimensionals on the back after I fussy cut this out. I'll be right back. All right, so now that everything has dimensionals, we're going to go ahead and add these. I like this little fork near the bottom, and I like connecting it with my greeting. So I'm going to go ahead and add that first at an angle, and then I'm going to pop my greeting on so that it's right over that fork. And then I'll add my numbers kind of right above everything, so that it's kind of all feels connected to one another, that nothing's just kind of all by itself out alone, just like that. So cute. To kind of bring in some of those sequins that I've used for my shaker element, I'm gonna pop some on just around, kind of as a little splatter of glimmer. I thought it was fun to add some to my little swirls on top of my cake. So I'm going to use this liquid glue again. One of the things I love about this liquid glue is that when it dries, it's still tacky. So it's really great for little things like this. Also going to add a couple things down in the corners. Okay. So I'm only going to use the clear, and there's a couple different sizes here. Sometimes it takes a minute for it to dry a little bit before you can get nice and tacky. Let's see, we'll just grab some of these fun embellishments. Some of these actually are not iridescent and some are. So if you kind of pick one up and it's not iridescent, that's okay. These are, like I said, retired. So it's kind of something that you either have on hand or you find something similar at another store or online, something like that. And just add whatever you want, more or less. Okay, just have fun with it. And your card is all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun shaker card. If you're interested in getting written instructions or close-up images on how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you would like to subscribe to get your own Paper Pumpkin monthly crafting kit, you can do so using the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.